So when you have the sun in Taurus, this shows that you're somebody with a easygoing, stable, and pleasant personality. Because Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is all about value. It's also about things that are pleasant. So aspect of Tauruses is that they just have a pleasant personality or aura, but they don't really even have to try to do anything, or like they don't have to try to be that way or try to be a certain way. Like people would generally get good vibes from your personality. And that's because Taurus is the sign of Venus, but also it's the sign that rules valuable things, or like that rules quality. And it also is about earth too. It's an earth sign, and Taurus has to do with nature and things that it's almost like an experience. Taurus has to do with the experience of nice things. So what you'll notice when you have the sun in Taurus is that a lot of people throughout your life may just revolve around you because they just like your vibe or like your aura. And also you radiate a aura of quality. You like to present yourself in a way that expresses quality or class. And what I said in the previous video too is that as a child, some Tauruses can have bullies or haters because those people admire you and they admire your aura, and others can look to you almost like an example, but it can be kind of something that's unbeknownst to you. And throughout life as a Taurus, you'll have a few copycats as well. But as I was saying, Taurus Sun too can be people that people revolve around, and that's also because Taurus likes to be a provider. And when the sun is in Taurus, it's in the 10th sign from his own sign. So the 10th house is really about being a provider, and it's all about success as well. So generally speaking, when you have the sun in Taurus, you do have this desire and this ego that wants to be a provider for others. And so anyways, people like enjoy being around you for that reason. And some people that are more needy on like a financial sense or even on an energetic sense, they tend to get along with you well because you're somebody that almost feels responsible for your friends or for your peers. Anyways, in the previous video, I talked about also the practical approach that Taurus has. And so that's the next point, which is that Tauruses have a very practical approach. Also, Tauruses are quite self-reliant, and they're the type of people that they can figure things out on their own just from having a good psychology or like a good mindset. They're able to put together the steps to do things on their own. So that's another thing. And that's why they also like to be providers. They don't like to depend on others. They tend to avoid asking for help from others. And this further contributes to their aura or their appearance of value. And the natural dynamic is that other people will revolve around them or depend on them. So finally too, as I was saying, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is all about the experience of life or the experience of quality, of the finer things. So like I was saying, that's why your aura as a Taurus, and this is a completely, side note from what we were just talking about, but and it's coming back to what I was saying at the beginning, but essentially that's why your aura is an experience for others when you have a Taurus sun. It's not even something that you have to really try to do, or it's not even something particular that you are doing. And then finally, of course, it's an earth sign. Earth is all about fertility. So you're almost like a fertile ground for others to be around when you're a Taurus. And a lot of times you like to give others practical advice. And sometimes you're the voice of reason around your friends or your peers or your family members, especially when they're doing things that don't make sense, or especially when people have dreams or they have like these ambitions that don't have like a sound reasoning or like a sound plan. Like, you're the type of person that won't necessarily tear down people's plans or their dreams, but you'll step in and like try to help them, logically break down what the steps are that they're going to do, and kind of break down the plan of things. And like, you just give people practical advice just in general, even when it comes to other things than just, goals or like ambitions. They know that 1 + 1 = 2. So metaphorically speaking, to get to 4, their approach would be 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. And that's how they get to 4. Whether that's in business, whether that's in, relationships, whether that's with their goals, that's how they do things. They do it step by step by step. And that's because they are rational and psychologically gifted people. Taurus is the sign of basic psychology. Scorpio is also about psychology, but both of these signs are on the same axis in astrology. Taurus is about being rational and having a good, solid psychology. So anyways, the reason I'm saying this is that, Tauruses know how to get to 4 from 0. And they do it step by step by step. And this is a metaphor, but other signs may not know how to do stuff like that. So other signs, if they're trying to get to 4, they may try to jump straight to 4 from 0. They don't have that tendency to plan things out or to break things down into the steps. So anyways, the next point is that Tauruses often want to demonstrate their worth through their character, their possessions, or their actions. So that is a trait of Taurus. And so again, they want to radiate an aura of class. They want to be good people, or they want to be recognized as somebody of value. So that's because Taurus is the sign of value, and the sun shows our ego or our actions and what motivates them. So what motivates Taurus's action is to be valued by others. And you'd think, doesn't everybody want to be valued by others? And you're right. And this is also why Taurus is a pretty good sun sign to have. But in reality, other sun signs are motivated by various different things. For example, somebody that has the sun in Cancer would be more motivated by their emotions, what feels good to them and their needs. And then somebody with sun in Scorpio may be different than Taurus, in the sense that Scorpios, they're motivated by their desires and the things that they want to acquire in the world. Sagittarius may be motivated by their inspirations. So I'm just saying all this to come back to the point that, when you have the sun in Taurus, you in specific, you're motivated by the desire to be seen as valuable or a person of value, which, believe it or not, is actually different than other sun signs. Or to acquire more value in the world, or to demonstrate your value. It's all around value, and the reason why is because Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of value, worth, or possessions. So, yeah, we're all, we have different sun signs, and we're all kind of going in different motivations or different directions, if that makes any sense. And Taurus goes the direction of value or success. So a lot of times that's why people can admire you, and you can also attract a lot of haters, because it's like, damn, why wasn't I doing things like Taurus? Or when people see your success, or they see who you are, your aura, they might think like, wow, this person has it on right. And again, this is because Taurus is the sign of mindset. It's having a good psychology, having a good stable plan, and not even just a plan, but a good mindset. So you stand out in that way. And also Taurus is the sign of talents and self-reliance. So you're really just out doing, if all the signs were basically, people in a small world, like you're the sign that's out doing their own thing and like kind of just focused on, their goals and on like a practical mindset, and like you're not getting tangled up into other BS, or like you're not like getting emotionally controlled or manipulated like a Pisces would maybe, or you're not taking random risks and gambles and partying all the time like a Sagittarius. You're just straight focused on like a practical direction. And anyways, that is the last thing I wanted to cover. And so ultimately, there's actually one final point, which is that when you have a Taurus sun, you stand out kind of like an object of value. And that's because Taurus is a fixed earth sign. It's all about material things. So you stand out as an example to others, or like you stand out like something of value stands out in the world, or like a piece of art, or like a statue, or something that is pleasant or aesthetically appealing. So this is because Taurus can show talents, and it also shows quality as well. But in a most basic sense, it can show also vocal talents. And generally speaking, this is because Taurus rules the mouth, the vocal cords, and all of the throat chakra area. So generally speaking, Taurus sun will also show somebody that has a nice speaking voice, or even a nice singing voice. So and also these individuals will be aesthetically gifted or sensically gifted. They have good senses, and they're able to put together something that looks nice, or they're able to understand what makes something quality versus not. So these are the best people to create a website for you, or like these are the best people to have design a business card, or to just have design the layout of things, or even like organize a venue for like a party or something, or you guys know what I mean. It can also be interior design skills, but they just have good senses and good aesthetic gifts. So that is Taurus Sun Part 2. Things that I forgot to mention in the first video or elaborate.